Senator, always good to have you.
Thanks, Neil.
What do you think of the escalation of these hostilities, the best way I can explain it, where Democrats are now making the charge, led by Nancy Pelosi? It's a cover-up. The president's guilty of a cover-up.
Well, there's no question that she went to her caucus this morning, and they must have lit her up because she came out of that and essentially, dropped the equivalent in political terms of a nuclear bomb right before going in to meet with the president in trying to come up with a solution on a major piece of bipartisan legislation. So I just think that she is under a lot of pressure from her left. She clearly caved to them. And I think she blew up any discussion that she could have with the president this morning, basically come out and accused him of a crime, and without any proof or any substantiation of that. And even around here, as I think your previous guest pointed out, and, politics is politics, it's hardball, we all understand that. But when you do something like that and then go down and try to sit down at the table and negotiate with somebody in good faith on a major legislative issue, it seems like it's going to be a pretty heavy lift.
Do you think that the talks at the White House on infrastructure would have been a little bit longer than the few minutes they were, Senator, had she never made the cover-up statement? Apparently Chuck Schumer was of the opinion that this was all preordained. The president, because of some of the impeachment talk on the Hill, was going to cut this short, regardless of the cover-up comment that came later.
I don't believe that. I think the president sincerely wants to do something on infrastructure. I think his team has been, as you know, there's been a lot of conversations about it. He had the previous meeting with the Democrats at the White House. I do think that this was triggered by and ignited by Pelosi's statement this morning. She clearly wanted to blow this thing up, and she succeeded in doing it. And for the Democrats now to come back up here and say, "Oh yeah, the president all along wanted to do that," I just don't buy that. I don't think he had any intention of going into that meeting. I think he was prepared to discuss with them a path forward on infrastructure, and they certainly blew and missed an opportunity, which gets to the broader point, and that is, are they going to choose to investigate, or are they going to try and choose to legislate? And she has conflicting pressures within her caucus about that, but I think the dominant view in her caucus, and to which she seems to be listening right now, is to investigate, impeach, harass, and that's going to make it very hard to legislate.
You know what I'm more worried about, Senator? You and I have gotten into this before on the debt issues, the budget issues. Their progress was being made. I think for the immediate time being, that's even more important than infrastructure, depending on your point of view, obviously. But right. Now those talks seem to be dead, and I'm wondering what this is going to mean when we get closer to August, when we essentially could risk running out of dough.
I agree with you that is more important. Clearly, infrastructure is an issue that we should deal with long term, but I think everybody knew that was going to be a pretty heavy lift, given the fact that nobody wanted to figure out how to pay for it. But we do have to fund the government. We've got to have a budget cap still. We've got to make sure that we raise the debt limit so that markets don't collapse. And those are things that are going to require bipartisan cooperation. And when the Democrats go down this path and choose this course, it makes it that much more difficult to do the things that Congress has to do. But those are essentials, and hopefully people can put aside all the rhetoric and come together and figure out how to get that done. As you know, earlier this week, Senator McConnell met with Speaker Pelosi and also with Kevin McCarthy and Chuck Schumer, and I thought made some positive forward progress. Hopefully that can continue, because those are things that just have to get done.
But they're not going to.
Well, they need to, but she makes it that much harder. And I know that her caucus, that's where they are, and they think that they're speaking on behalf of, certainly on the far left in this country, but that's not where the majority of Americans are. Most Americans are in the middle. They want to see their government get results, get things done, and particularly when it comes to the things they care most about, and that's jobs and wages and opportunities for their kids. I think those are the economic issues that most Americans want to see their Congress address.
Senator Thune, thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil.